Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thinking today's a good day to cut the video. Day after Thanksgiving, so this is kind of the progress we have so far. The overwinters from the front yard, none of them survived. Not one. This is one of the only ones that I think might be maybe alive because the stems are still alive. So this one is dead. So if you look at it, that one's gone. Flowers are doing good. None of this soil I worked. Really, I just topped it with some mulch, and then when I planted, I just add a little compost to the hole. Spread the mulch out, add a little compost to the hole, dug down into the clay to give some roots some penetration depth, and that's all I did. So my basil is coming in okay. In Arizona, this should be Phoenix. This should be perennial. Onions are doing good. My flowers, my broccoli, eggplants are doing good. It's been really good. So these I don't think I have any fruit, but got big old giant flowers. So this bed, I got the snapdragons flowering finally. Let me zoom in. I topped it. It would have flowered a long time ago, but I topped it. So it's just more basil. Cilantro's doing good. Onions, this new onion bed's doing well. I did fertilize it and it looks good now, so I'm gonna just leave it as is. Eggplants again doing good. Got some eggplants coming, some more flowers. I got my cloth coming for my frost protectant today, but it's about mid 40s for the night lows, so we're still good. Got another 10 degrees to go, so another 3 weeks maybe until frost. My tomatoes are doing okay as well, so you can see like tomatoes in there, and so some more onions and stuff are doing good. More broccoli. All this empty space, I'm gonna probably bring all my pots that I want to keep and just fill in the gaps here. So this stuff here is doing good. So you can see the size. Let me see if I can show you with my arm the size of the leaves, what curls under. It's doing so. If you remember the beginning of this season, I tried to grow and everything died, but I knew it was just a matter of time. Same thing with this bed. I'll show you when I come around. I just built, so I'll come around there now, but give me a sec. I'm making my rounds back around. I did top this off, added some coffee, and this is going to be good to grow literally now if I wanted to, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till spring, maybe around April, to plant this out because it's pretty shaded. Those oleanders are coming up the top of the wall, so this is pretty shaded up until around April anyways. That'll be perfect timing. My acerola cherries. I don't like my shadow getting in the video, but it's let me see if I can show you. Let me pause it. So here's one here. Let's see if I can. These taste just like a cherry, but a tropical tasting cherry. It's really, really delicious. And these are the only trees that survived in pots in the middle of summer here in a pot. So if these are in ground, these are gonna explode in Phoenix. So that's more eggplants, onions coming along. That's my apple green, and this is my Casper eggplant. And the Casper is supposed to have like a mushroomy taste, more like mushrooms. So salvia is doing good. And then just all my peppers just coming along. So my cherapita, if you can see the shadow out of the way, has fruits. This is my first Urfa Bieber cross. This seed specifically, I don't know what happened with that one, but that's not Urfa. These ghost chilies are really small. I got from Home Depot, and I didn't start these from seed, and they're not hot at all. I don't know what those are. My CP115, that's variegated. So if you look at the trunk, it's growing really slow. Cool looking trunk though. Variegated trunk. So all the rest of the peppers, Jamaican hot chocolates, 3 of these plants, 1, 2, and 3 doing good. Scotch bonnet, excuse me, let's see here, Scotch bonnet's doing good, starting to orange up. And this is a Freeport orange. I thought this was a Scotch brains, but it's not. So that's all up. And then my Chula Hacale Negro, they're still not ripe yet. still green, so still waiting. Pride of Madeira, only 2 survived. These are more coastal, perennial flowering bushes. Pride of Madeira, look those up, those are really cool. Brazilian starfish, still not, tons of pods and still flowering, but just none of them are ripening at all. I do have my cross of my BTR Scorpion crossed into this, right there. And I did another cross of my Fatality Gourmet Jigsaw crossed into this baby bird's eye that took. So hopefully I'll have more Fatality type pods on a plant like this, hopefully. And same thing with that. So my sugar snap peas are doing good. All right. Oh, my submarine habaneros that I mentioned before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So my peacock flower, another perennial flowering bush, doing good. My wood chip pile's almost used up. Got a half a load, which is perfect for what I needed. All right, give me a sec. Okay, got most of those wood chips here. For the first time ever, there's wood chips back there. It was just clay before, if you look at any previous videos. So this does get some sun in the morning. There's a couple pots. So this was a sickly plant all year, and it's doing okay now, but it doesn't get enough sun, and it's gonna be freezing soon. So I might overwinter it, but for some reason I'm not having luck with overwintering things. I think maybe it's because I waited. I did it too early, and it wasn't hot enough to where, or I'm sorry, cold enough. I think when it gets colder, the plants are automatically going to go into more like a winter hibernation, and that's the time you want to overwinter, not when it's more hot, when they're still growing. So my CGN 21.5 are still not right, man. These things have been sitting on the plant forever. Basia Bacchio chilies, again, sitting forever, still green. Not ripe yet. Same thing with this Basia Bacchio. The one I want to save seeds from is this one. Still not ripe either. So my black habanero is ripening up. As you see, a few pods almost getting black, so it's going to be a little ways from now before this is ready. Still like a coffee color, dark coffee color. My no-name pepper, still not ripe either. This one gets the most sun in this front yard up until there. So good 3-4 hours of sun. But it's 3-4 hours of Arizona sun. If you guys grow sweet potatoes, I think these are the seed pods. Let me know. I don't know for sure. But it's really hard to get seeds from sweet potatoes. If these are it, I gotta research it. Let you guys know next time. Oh, pod dropped. All right, so this bed won't be ready for a while. If you build beds out of wood chips or whatever, it's gonna be 8-12 months before you can grow in them. So this might be my fall bed. So next October. I don't know. if I can do it any sooner than that. I tried, as you guys saw in that bed over there. Even though that's now my most productive bed, that was my most murderous bed for plants earlier this year. My Fatality Gourmet Jigsaw, the one I crossed into the baby bird's eye, it's starting to ripen. It's getting some red pods. So I can almost pick some of these maybe now, but it's going really big, has tons of pods on it. All in there. Same thing, if you remember, with my CGN 21.5, another one is still not ripe either. Again, the nights are in the mid 40s. So this thing's just loaded. The branches are just laying down. They gave up. They gave up trying to stand up. I believe this is now that I look at it, a Bohemian. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's just something I planted a long time ago, and it's starting to pot up. I'm gonna put that frost cloth over this. If we get down to 32 or 30 degrees, I'm thinking a frost cloth is enough to keep these things going to where I don't have to overwinter them. My BTR is doing good. This is a clone from the mother plant in the back that's not doing too good. A few pods on it. So, red hob, everything's good. And this is another flower, so this is Snapdragon. So you're gonna see a few clips from like 3 weeks ago all the way up till today that got me here. All the stuff I've done. Coming up now. All right, so these are some homemade tags. I got a couple ahi panka going, some milkweed. I'm starting again because I noticed that they got dampened when I went to retransplant them, and so it wasn't good. But just some blank ones here, just out of an old like a spinach container from Costco, or one of the big ones from Fry's, Safeway. So Whole Foods, one of the big ones. You can use them for little greenhouses, and then you can also use these things for tags if you have enough greenhouses. You could even cut the size into tags too. Put duct tape on one side and then cut it, and then from there you have your tags you could write against the other side of the duct tape, which would be white. So same as this, but it would be with duct tape. If you wanted them all with backing, I don't really care. So the black will show through. This is a really thick marker. So alright, so this is a fresh batch of shrimp shell and banana peel. So good nitrogen, good potassium fertilizer. Just a couple banana, maybe 5 banana peels and 3 pounds worth of wild caught shrimp shells from it. So give me a sec. Alright, so I got some General Hydroponic Flora Series mixed up. This is about 2 gallons, so I don't know, maybe about a teaspoon per gallon is what I mixed up. Heavier in the nitrogen though. And here is what's left over. So this was left over of that. Still got to press the seeds down. You can see the seeds here. So I got it marked. So all of this over in the corner is this type. All of this in the corner over is this type. I still have to do this and this with new seeds. So give me a sec.
No, I meant on the pillow. There's a lot.
Alright, so right here I just have some blue Palo Verde, this whole square and down. This thing has a grate on the bottom again, so it's going to hopefully air prune the roots. Acacia Maiden's Rattle up this way. Acacia Magnum, M-A-N-G-I-U-M, I believe, is all of this. And then Acacia Anura here. Vitex all in here. Blue Palo Verde, just one there, just one seed. Acacia Mangium, M-A-N-G-I-U-M, again right there, had extra. And then right here I just had, remember what something. Acacia amagnum, I believe, is extra here as well. So this is my overstory and my understory planted out here for Casa Grande. All right, everybody, this is some of what I have started. CGN 23258. Look those up. Pimenta de Nide and Reaper cross. Fatality Gourmet Jigsaw Chocolate. Reaper Boot Orange Copenhagen. Devil's Naga Brains Lemon Starburst. Naga Reaper. Andy's Boot Orange Copenhagen. And Alyssum. Oxide. Alyssum, I think. Hey everyone, this is a pot of one of my bananas, a dwarf Namois or something like that, I believe. It's been in here for 6 months or so, so I gotta pot it to something bigger. So this is gonna be a 10-gallon. I was hoping for a black one for the winter, just for extra root heat, but come to think of it, I might pot it into something smaller than that. Give me a sec. Okay, so I don't have anything. So basically on freeze nights, I'm going to have to just take this into the garage all winter. So I'd say about 7 nights at the most this winter. Somewhere around there, I don't know. So basically what I'm doing is a sand mixture here. So this is a sand and cocoa core. So see the consistency? Some of the clumps aren't really broken. But, there seems to be a little bit of perlite as well in this. Yeah, so and then I use just reclaimed potting soil, but from a pot that was potted for about 3 months, but this 4 months, but in the middle of summer was just too much. But the soil's good, so I mix it half and half to come up with this mixture for the bottom layer. So a sandy or perlite mixture with cocoa. Okay. And a little bit of compost as well. It's going to be going on the top. Tank screen stuff is local here, so local compost, which is the best compost you can get. See the holes, so it can stay aerobic, hopefully. So all the food was for the bacteria, decrease, and their populations slowed and decrease as well. Decrease more than anything. And once you fertilize this, they'll come back to life. So and with the tilling, when you actually utilize the compost as well. So. Only fertilizer I have right now is General Hydroponics. Unfortunately, I use the rest of mine. My fertilizer. So update. I didn't see this. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. So I gotta sacrifice the container, obviously, which is what I'm gonna do now. Alright, so it's basically done. I put about this much under the root zone, just enough to keep it through the winter for summer planting. Okay, so just making sure it's good for over the winter. So there's about this much soil below the original root ball that was in the black container. So let me just mulch it real quick and I'll be done. Alright, so submarine habaneros, one upstairs. So here's a banana. I did mix a little bit of compost into the wood chip mulch, just a tad bit. Just a little, for it to hold just a little more moisture in the mulch layer. But not much, not like a soil. This would be like more of like, this would be really good orchid soil, the mulch stuff, because I put a little soil just with mostly wood chips. This would be a good orchid mix. But orchids aren't grown in full sun or even partial sun. They're grown in almost basically full shade. So that's the banana. That's it. So it's going to grow a little bit more. I'm going to bring it indoors for the winter, for the freeze days, and I'm going to plant it out in the spring, and I'm going to get a pup off, or two, hopefully 2 pups off of it before the winter of next year. Hey everybody, 13th here. This is the next day, just under the line. I did still leave that open, but what I got here is some wood ash from the grill. Not the grill, but the fireplace. Eucalyptus. I got more on the side. I'm just water it in when I'm done. rest that's in the fireplace that I bring out next will fill in that, and then I'll just water it in. I believe it's high in potassium, so, but very alkaline, but being that this is, for the most part, it's pure compost, adding a little alkalinity to it, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially if it just goes for potted specimen as well, so. All right, so just what I did with that, just now with the rest of the coffee grounds, I just put into the wood chips where there's nothing planted there, that big spot there. Wet spots, this whole square wet spot here. There. Let's see. And then just a little bit, because this was really unworked, even tilled underneath the wood chips, which is about this tall in this location, so not too tall. Hey, so really just here, you know, a little there, a little in the middle of the plant, just anywhere in the middle where there's nothing growing. I put some. I should have put, well, but there's more just onions here, so I didn't, but I probably should have put a little there. Anyways, that's what I did. So maybe next spring, this will be a little bit better soil for, I might even still mix in a little potting soil here and there within where I plant, like where the bare spots are. So like if I put bulbs here, probably bulbs for next spring. If I do that, it'll be within the next month. So I can do that within the next month for next spring, and then it would be planted here. I just mix in a little, maybe peat moss or cocoa core, maybe just perlite, just wherever I plant. So it is now the 19th. Nights are about 55, 50 degrees, getting cooler. I was contemplating, sorry I'm a little tired, but I was contemplating, you know, getting perlite and cocoa core and building a bed. Because it's unused space. But I'm like, well, I mean, I already have soil, that's free. I know about chip drop, I'll get chip drop, that's free too. I might as well have chips dropped and make my own soil for free instead of paying for it, and I have that extra money for other things like bug spray or something, I don't know. Seeds, germination trays, grow lights indoors, save that money. So that's what I'm doing. So this is basically the lasagna gardening method. So what I'm doing here is I tilled under here a good 8 inches, 10 inches. Just because this is unworked. Normally you don't want to till the soil, but this is like unworked soil. Plus it's going to sit another 3 or 4 months, about 3 months before I planted it anyways. Till it, cardboard it. Then I'm going to put my chips down, probably to that crack there. And then I'm going to generously apply coffee grounds throughout the winter to this bed and water it in all winter long. That's the plan. So when I water these, specifically this bed, I have to bring the hose from around back over the gate because the only hose that reaches the front yard hose is a crappy one, doesn't reach. So I'll have to, as I'm watering, I'll have to use that technique. But this is basically what I'm doing. Hey everybody, so these little whiter specks here, not the perlite, but the white stuff like there in here. I didn't know if that was mold or not, so I just put some cinnamon down just to protect. So so the half paper towel for a week or whenever it sprouts, so some of the first sprouts come, and then put them in soil. That way when I put them in soil, I can put 1-1. They're not all together. They're separate, so I can leave them in here a little bit longer before I separate them because their roots won't tangle as fast. But chocolate bootleg, I have quite a few. I count 8 right there. PDN Reaper, Andy, BLC Cross. Or no, it's not Cross, but this is Andy. Well, it's a Cross, but this is Andy's BLC specifically from White Hot Pepper. There's a few there. There's one there. And then BLC Reaper Cross. A few there, so. But I don't know if it was mold, but I'm not taking any chances, especially with grow room mold. Not again. No way. Alright, so this is the coffee grounds from Starbucks. This is what they give you. You got to break these pucks up. There'll also just be a block of this in there. So just break it up. This is what Starbucks gives. There are certain locations, from what I find here, at least in Phoenix, Arizona, that certain Starbucks locations save grounds for gardeners and others just throw their stuff away. Not very smart, but then again, there's not a lot of gardeners picking this stuff up. So like, why would they save it? Okay, so that's Starbucks. The other one is Dutch Brothers Coffee, which is over here by my son, wearing his weird matching gardening clothes, which aren't very impressive, but we're not trying to impress. Dutch Brothers comes with trash. I think Dutch Brothers supplies more grounds per day by pound wise, but you got to filter out your own trash. Plus, they don't like save it for you, so if you don't get there in time for getting the grounds, then you have to go to their trash can in front of everyone and pick it out yourself, which is what I'm doing. So this is it. So this is probably gonna be my first round. Those 2 bags in this bed here, and then I'm working another pile on the other side, and then that hugelkultur bed in the back, that raised bed that I did last year. I'm gonna do that too. So I might have another maybe 3 or 4 trips, double trips, before it's all done. All right. Yesterday was the first batch of coffee grounds. Today is the second batch. I was able to put down a real fat layer of coffee grounds in this. So if you look in, it's I use my harder rake to kind of till it into the top, maybe this much of the soil. Because maybe the top 6 inches composted down. I filled it back up with wood chips and then added coffee and then tilled it back in to the new wood chip layer, which is basically here. Some parts of the bed, it came down all the way to around there, as far as where the soil came down from when I originally built this bed. It's going to be a really good bed for the spring. I'm going to water this in. That little square piece on the end, I run out of grounds to fill that, so I'll have to redo that. Maybe tomorrow when I get more chips. Or not more chips, but more grounds. And then whatever excess grounds I have, I'll add it to other beds. Specifically the front yard bed. So. Alright, so another little update tip. A few days ago, I saw some purpling. You can still see a little bit of it. Maybe on this leaf. On the tip. At least I can with my eyes. It was a lot worse. I believe that's phosphorus or magnesium, to where the chlorophyll can't really produce, and so sugars, something with the sugars get locked up in the leaves and turn purple. So I hit it up about 3-4 days ago, and now they're growing, and the purpling is all of them are purpling. This is cinnamon basil. This is a Reaper Naga, or Naga Reaper. I can't remember which one was first, but it was doing really bad. Redid the soil, still dropping leaves, and now it's finally recovering. So sometimes if something doesn't do good, and you don't know why, and it doesn't do well, you try to fertilize, it doesn't do well, just swap the soil out. Peroxide bath, and the root peroxide bath can't hurt either. These were the same, but I didn't do the soil, and they bounced back. These are all my 7-pot Jonas, these 3. And soda cans make really good sub-irrigated. Put a few rocks on the bottom so that it doesn't fall through. And you see that's the top of the bottle. I push through the inside of the bottom. So the bottom is the reservoir, and then the top is the top of the bottle, but upside down. So, good way to reuse these, save them from the landfill, and get really good sub-irrigated robot pots for your peppers, and really nice size ones too, if you look at it. I mean, you can't buy these like this from Amazon, like this dimension that I found, because pepper roots like to go real deep, and there's no deep pots unless you use tree pots, but then you're subject to something a little bit more narrow than this. So I'm talking a little low, my son's sleeping. So that's update.